Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So today we have an update for the PL18 and this is 1083 I believe. So let's bring you in for a close-up look and see how we go with this process, see if we get any issues with it. So for this one, first thing you're going to want to make sure you've got is a good quality micro USB cable, and we're going to stick that into the transmitter. And you need to make sure that this is a data cable and not just a charge cable. So once we've got that, next we're going to want to go to flysky-cn.com. You're going to want to click on products. If we come down, click on air. So if we click on air, you've got the PL18. Click on this, scroll all the way to the bottom. Click on downloads and upgrades, and I will put this in the link in the description as always. So we've got the standard version at firmware 1083, and that's just standard power. We've got the FCC version, slightly higher TX power and shortens the battery life ever so slightly. And we've got a change log, so let's have a look what we've got on this. So we've got ship model, new adaptation, model picture, features add options for sailing ships and simulation ship image. Under the type feature, added reef function as an option in ship models. Race mode adaptation, so if you're entering a race, I know people do race boats, seen some really quick ones. Basically it just dulls down the warnings for telemetry loss and low signal alarm, because you don't want it beeping when you're trying to race. RX settings feature, we've got low signal alarms, and you can configure that. Vibration can be set. Functions can be enabled or disabled. Under RX features, telemetry loss, so you've got some configuration on the telemetry loss alarms and what you want it to do. And we've got a strange setting to enable extended battery life in display menus. So you've got options for power saving time, set the duration of inactivity before the transmitter enters a low power state, saving power, and customize. It allows you to customize the RF state and the screen power saving basically. Backlight timeout option has been removed from the display menu. When the transmitter remains inactive, it will now automatically activate power saving mode based on the configuration in your power settings basically. Brightness of the LED will be reduced in power savings mode. Modifications to functions, so we've got a fuel alarm that's been added and a reset switch. So that's quite nice, you can just set it so you can just flick it and reset the fuel. And then fixed bugs and issues. Fixed issue with functions like timer, where the assigned start switch would not work after the transmitter is powered off and on. That's been fixed. Special features, power saving on current consumption. So just more about the optimizations for the power settings. Some firmware functions from earlier V63 will not be inherited. Basically they've changed the way that it works. I think this was the same on some earlier ones as well. Users need to reconfigure functions before use, for example rate and exponential functions of AFR and DR setup. So yeah, it's just worth noting if you're coming from a really early firmware, due to the way they've changed the way that the transmitter actually works, you might have to reconfigure a few things. One good thing to know is if you're using backups from an older version of Assistant, it won't work. So make sure you've got the 3.3.5 Assistant installed. Make your backups from that. Once you've got them backups, then do the firmware update. As always, I would suggest downloading the firmware update from here. So either the standard or the FCC. Download the new version of Assistant from here as well. I think if we scroll down, I think there's a Mac version on here. Yeah, we got the Mac version of Assistant 3.3 as well. So, just to get things started, I'm going to download the standard version of firmware because I don't need the FCC one. So for me, on my desktop, I have an Assistant V3 folder with all my transmitters in, a PL18 folder, and I'm going to download it to that. So that's got us firmware downloaded. Then we can open up the Assistant software, which is a lot quicker now. So once we've got this on, you can power up your transmitter. Now let's see if I can brighten up this screen. You might stand a chance of seeing it then. So first thing we're going to need to do, once Assistant's open, we're going to go to his device. We're going to go to export. I haven't got an awful lot set up on this, but we've got the models that we've got on here. You can just click all if you've got a lot and it'll do them all. Click export. And then for me, I like to go back to my desktop, my Assistant V3 folder, go down to my PL18 and save it all in there. So I've got everything saved in one place. It should be fairly quick, seems like it's only got 2 model memories, but it is using the old micro USB cable, so maybe not that quick. Don't look like it's going to take too long to do this. Obviously, the more memories you've got, the more it's going to take to do it. So once we've got them backed up, normally Flysky do have these updates on Assistant. I would not use Assistant to update your transmitter, but if you're adamant you're going to do that, we've already made the backup. You can go to here and eventually you will see the newer versions added. You can also use this to downgrade. But we've got the standard one, which is the 73 still, and we've got the FCC one, which is still the 73, but for me, I don't like using Assistant to update. So if we close Assistant, next on your actual transmitter, so I'll do my best to get this on screen, but it's not an easy screen to record. But basically, you want to go to your system menu, you want to go to your general options, and then if we scroll down, you'll get TX firmware update. You want to click this and click yes. Now you see the transmitter say it's ready for updating. Should restart. Once you've heard your USB sort of detect it and you know it's restarted, we can go into, on mine, my Assistant V3 folder, then my PL18 folder, and you'll see the firmware update. We can start that. You'll see it's detected the transmitter on 1073. We've also got the new version number, which is 1083. See if that makes it any easier to see. So on here we got the transmitter detected, we've got the new version, what it's going to update to, and the old version, and we can just click update. It's usually quite a quick process this. It's a lot slower if you go through Assistant V3. I wouldn't use Assistant to update the actual firmware. It's brilliant for backing up model memories, but it's definitely not my first choice for doing the actual firmware update. I don't like the way that it relies on being online to download it. With this standalone updater, you've actually physically downloaded the update to your machine before you start doing the update process, and I just find this a lot safer. There's far less chance of something disconnecting or internet dropping and it sort of bricking your transmitter and you having to restore it. And it's an awful lot quicker doing it this way. I don't like to skip this part where I'm showing what it's actually doing, because I've had a few people get concerned where it pauses at a certain part. I mean, at the moment it's on 45%. It does tell you it's programming the flash. Now it's at 46%, but if you want to watch along while you're doing this in real time on your own transmitter, it certainly puts your mind at rest seeing what sort of stages it pauses on mine. If you're wondering what this little thing is, it's a Lenovo Legion Go. Absolutely fantastic for carrying around, portability, and I've just got a USB hub in the back. It's got a USB-C port top and bottom, and I just use the little USB hub with loads of USB-Cs and USB-A ports on it. It's really convenient. But for updating these transmitters, absolutely fantastic. If you wanted to carry this to the track or a flight field with you, you can. Lasts a good amount of time on its own battery, but you can plug USB-C into the hubs and charge it while you're using it. But yeah, if you wanted to take it with you to flight field or an RC track and use it to update friends or family's transmitters or transfer model memories between transmitters, absolutely fantastic for that. We're now at 74%, so shouldn't be much longer. Still says it's programming flash. But yeah, having a tiny little portable computer, really good when you've got these modern transmitters. It does say it fixes the timer issue with it not triggering the timer from throttle. What it doesn't say is if it fixes any issues with the timer not sort of recording the real time. I know a few people have voiced concerns about that, where the timer doesn't actually seem to relay the real time. But the transmitter's restarted. It does detect it now on 1083 firmware, so we can close the updater. We can minimize that. So the transmitter is now back on. Let's see if I can get it focused on it. It's not the easiest screen to focus on this, but it does ask you to confirm the stick mode. So we can just confirm operation mode. So we now need to calibrate all our pots and our sticks. So I'll do my best to get them in the center. I think that's somewhere near. And we should move them all to the extremes. And I definitely make sure you do this after updating firmware on any of these transmitters. All I've got to do now is remember where all the pots and sticks are on this transmitter. Should be about there. So calibration successful. Then it'll ask us to update as RF unit. Once that's done, so we get the warning about the fail safes. Don't want to set it up. So once we've done that, all we need to do now is get our model memories back on. So for this, we leave the transmitter connected, open Assistant, and this is an awful lot quicker now. It'll say device detected. We can click onto his device, go to import, load model file. Then we just need to go back to our desktop, Assistant V3 folder, down to his PL18, click on the file, That'll show us what import memories we've got, so we can click on them. Then it'll give you the option where you can tick them. If you've got a lot of memories, you can just select all. Once you've got the ones ticked you want, click add. You can now click on here and you can move these up or down. You can reorder them all. If you make a mistake and you want to start again, you can just click reset and then re-add them back in. And then we click OK. And this is just going to put us model memories back on the actual transmitter itself. So again, shouldn't take very long this, because I've only got 2. Bizarrely 1 equals 45%. It comes up saying imported successful. So then we can close as assistant. And then we've got our model memories back on our transmitter. The only thing you will have to do is bind the models back to their respective RCs. But yeah, hopefully that'll guide you through doing the update, and the changelog explains some fixes and changes. But nice to see we've actually got a new firmware for the PL18. It's been out quite a while, this transmitter, but nice to see that Flysky haven't abandoned it and we're still getting new firmware. You guys will have to test it and let me know if you find any issues with it, or if they've corrected some of the things that have been mentioned. But hopefully we should have a better working transmitter now than we did on 73. But let's wrap this one up. So there we have it, 1083 firmware update for the PL18. Don't get any weird issues doing the update. I would follow the procedure that I advise on it. I wouldn't update it through Assistant even when the software's on Assistant, which it's not at the minute. Use the standalone updater, and then it's your choice whether you have the standard or the FCC firmware. But yeah, if you guys run this, see if they've fixed any of the issues that I've had mentioned. I do pass any information back along to Flysky and give them feedback on whether the updates got any other bugs or anything, if I don't find them, if people mention them to me. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. Hopefully you find this useful, entertaining, or just like listening to my incessant ramblings. But don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one.